Sometimes you just crave a sweet treat during Ramadan, and these are my go-to and how to make them. Craving to eat after Taraweeh is fruit salad. So I usually just use whatever fruit I've got on hand. But I've got an orange, a mellow, although it is very crusty dusty. I don't think I'm gonna use it. I've got pineapple, watermelon, dragon fruit, pomegranate, and some grapes. Now, the essential ingredient to this to make it really, really good is bananas. But look at these. These are the greenest of green bananas. So fortunately, I'm not gonna have banana, but I think it should be fine. Ideally, you would have banana because it just makes it super, super sweet. Oh, I've also got an apple. So the essential ingredients to this is actually the banana, the watermelon, and the apple, just because the watermelon and apple are like the base. The banana brings in the sweetness, and everything else is just a new, cool, fun touch. The other thing that is really, really nice is mango, but I didn't find any, so I'm just gonna be sad about it. I love a finely chopped fruit salad, so I'm gonna start off with the base, which is the apple. I've got a pink lady. The pink lady is perfect in this scenario because it's not going to be as sour as if it was a Granny Smith, but I would opt for a Granny Smith if you've got bananas, if you've got everything else. So I'm just going to go ahead and chop. Do not judge my knife skills. I have carpal tunnel. I will use the whole apple if it's for a group of people, but it's just me and my lonely self. Although I will eat this salad within a day. I think that is enough. Just the next base ingredient is watermelon. Watermelon is not in season, but it is the base ingredient, okay? Also, by base ingredient, I don't mean it's required. Like, you can do whatever you want. It is your fruit salad. If I didn't see this in the grocery store, I would not have bought it. I don't think this was a big enough piece. With apple and watermelon, it doesn't matter how much you add because it doesn't mess with the flavor because it is literally just there for texture. Also, if you have a watermelon that doesn't have a good texture, that doesn't have a good flavor but still has a crunch, perfect for this salad. Now I will do pineapple. So here's the disclaimer. If you're not going to eat this right away, don't add pineapple, papaya, or passion. This is not passion fruit. Ooh, passion fruit would be really good in the dragon fruit. Don't add anything acidic that will dissolve the rest of the ingredients. Also, the banana comes absolutely last. So I'm gonna eat this right away. So I'm gonna add the pineapple. This is my dinner. I give it stirs while I'm cooking to see. I might just do the whole apple actually, or a little bit more apple. You're doing this to take somewhere. Just cut everything and put it in separate containers and then assemble later. I love to put grapes in. I know you're like, but they're already shaped, just toss them in. No, you have to cut them. These are huge grapes, so probably should have cut them in half. Slicing that I love is like this, and then like this. Little quarters. I think that's enough grapes because those are Korean grapes and they are so expensive. Let's do the passion. Oh, dragon fruit. Whoa, she's ripe. Okay, this is so ripe. Oh, this just fell apart. I'm just gonna throw in my pomegranate. Let's see. Am I feeling an orange? No, let's just do some pomelo because I need to get rid of it. Look at how crusty this is. It's an abomination. I think I might shred it. Like boba toppings. I never had pomelo last long enough to me contemplating what to do with it. It's missing some color. Look at that. Let's taste test. Also, I feel like I made it a lot bigger. I usually make the chunks smaller, but I'm trying to race against time. Yum. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Like the dragon fruit is so good. I highly suggest making this. It is so, so good. We are back in full sun with my fruit salad. But I wanted to come on here and recommend putting pepper on it. Okay, I don't know why, but it tastes so good. I don't put it in on here because my family doesn't like it, but I just put it in a little bowl. Just hear me out. You gotta try it before you judge it because I used to judge everyone who did it because we have a huge Desi community, and they would make the fruit salad with pepper, and I would always avoid it. But then one day I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is it. Oops. But you just, it's literally the easiest recipe, but the pepper you use really matters. If you use like the ground, the one that you like churn, I feel like doesn't work better, unless maybe the ones I've tried are not great. But like a good ground pepper that is like peppery, I don't know how to explain it. It has to have flavor or else you're basically adding nothing. There it is. You can see the pepper flakes. It is so good. It just gives it a little spice. It's like tahini on mango. It just tastes good. It adds like a little extra depth to the flavor. Oh, and also it stores really well. Like you can eat it the next day and it kind of be fine as long as you touch the apples with something acidic. So the pineapple here is what made the apples not turn brown. Also, I think they're GMO apples. Pink lady apples are GMO apples. So it didn't turn brown because of that. It's when you teeter in day 2 or 3 is when you like definitely probably are tossing it into a smoothie or something else, because the texture will just be mush. Like it'll still be a viable salad. Usually it doesn't get to that because usually I munch it up. This is my second favorite. Technically I eat this when I break my fast, not after tarawih. Although I do snack on them after tarawih too, but this is my dates. Like, or what I eat for dates to break my fast. It looks like I'm just eating chocolate. Honestly, I might as well. I've got my dates. I tried to research one that was not from Israel. I'm really hoping this one isn't, because I really tried. If not, please let me know, and please let me know the varieties that are. I've got dates, pecans, chocolates. I've got an experiment with pretzels. Hold on, you guys can't even see anymore. And another experiment with some of my homemade caramel to put inside. And then to top it all off, flaky salt. What I usually do is the date. Pecan inside the date, cover it with chocolate, and then add some flaky salt. But my variations are, first, my gold bars. I've got white chocolate, salted caramel, dark, and German chocolate. I also have normal chocolate somewhere, but either way, I think these would be a really fun experiment. And then the other experiment is to try to add pretzels, and another experiment is to add caramel. Let's start off with making a handful of them the traditional way. To do that, I'm just gonna melt some chocolate. I think I'm gonna melt the dark one first. To melt this, I'm just double boiling. Let me melt some chocolate and I'll be back. Now, while the chocolate is melting, ignore the microwave. I'm going to go ahead and remove the pits from the dates. Oh my gosh, how much plastic do we need? Thank you. Ugh. What I do, oh, these are mushy, is I will take the date, remove the pit, open it up, and then I will stuff a pecan in, and then I'll close it up. And then usually people dip these in chocolate. Lucky for us, I don't like chocolate that much. But what I will do at the end is drizzle the chocolate on all of them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the process 400 billion times. But you can see it does not take that long to pit. For the experiments, I've got my caramel. I'm gonna do a few with caramel inside of, I think I'll do a row with caramel, a row with pretzels, just to play around. And then we'll do a row of each chocolate. I just want to taste test them, see which one's the best, and then commit the rest of them to that. Caramel, I don't have much of it left, but I think this is gonna be so good. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so easy. I thought the caramel would give me a harder time, but no, it does not. Oh, what if I do caramel and pretzel? See, there's just so many options with this, and by creating a variety, you won't get sick of them, because I don't know why, I just can't eat a plain date. I know it's a no, but I think because I was forced as a kid to eat them, bane of my existence. So I know I said one row of caramel, one row of not caramel. I'm gonna do 2 with caramel pretzels, and then the rest just pretzels, just to get a vibe, because I feel like caramel and pretzel sounds really, really good. Now chocolate, I'm just gonna do dark chocolate What if I just mixed all the chocolate types? I did a row of dark chocolate while the chocolate is still liquid. You gotta hit it with the flaky salt. You don't want that much. Get off of my hands. Like, come on. Okay, my fingers are too sticky. I'll do the experiment pretzels with the dark chocolate too. I'm gonna hit these with some salt because I don't think it'll stick onto the pretzel. Let's do the pretzel. I'm just gonna squish it in to make sure it glues in. They don't look that cute, but you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna do a row of German and then a row of white. Also, what the heck is German chocolate? Let's taste test. Hey Google, what is German chocolate?
Chocolate cake.
Did I say cake? Okay, you can stop. It tastes like dark chocolate. So, oh, okay, so basically, all I had to do was read the label. It just has less cacao than semi-sweet. This is the German chocolate, which we've just found out is just less dark chocolate. So I'm just gonna coat the rest in this one. Ooh, this is the technique. What if I shave the white on top so I don't have to melt it? Oh, it's so pretty. Also kind of low-key is gonna just look like the salt. Let's stop before I injure myself. That is so cute. It needs salt. There we go. That's the white chocolate. Okay, I'm gonna shave this one too, just because it's an overpowering salted caramel and an acquired taste. I'm gonna put these in the fridge to chill and then we will taste test. Although they're all gonna be good. The dates are done and it is basically Maghrib. So it is, well actually it is Maghrib. Oh, I don't have my watch. It is Maghrib, so it's time to taste test. Let me bring you in closer. Starting off with the plain. Look at them, they are so good. Yes, no other comments. Moving on. Okay, white chocolate, let's go. It needs more white chocolate. It's just decor. Okay, let's try salted caramel with salted caramel chocolate on top. Mmm. Whoa. The caramel? Whoa. It is so sweet. Now the plain one with caramel. In the salted caramel lineup, the one with the chocolate on top, the salted caramel chocolate from Lily's. So good. Now last but not least, the one with the pretzel. That might be a winner. Wow. My favorite is this one. But these are phenomenal. That flaky salt ain't salty enough. So the pretzel coming in, with one box, I was able to basically create a whole Ramadan's worth. I highly recommend them. They are so, so good and so cute. So, we are up at that crack of dawn because I realized that when I made these, I forgot something. I forgot the peanut butter. So I want to add it and then make some with peanut butter. What I did to fill them, because I did this last night, I like realized, oh shoot, let me try to fix this. I just went into like the booty holes of the dates. I went in through like the same way you would do a cream puff or something. I just went in like spread the date, found the crack. How am I supposed to do it? Essentially, I found where the date, where I split the date earlier, found a way to shove the peanut butter in and just use this little baggie that I filled with peanut butter. There's the hole. I just take this bag that I cut the tip off of and then I'm just going to squeeze it in until it gets filled. And so I did that for most of these. These are in this container because I'm giving them to someone. The ones with caramel, I did not do this for, but everything else I did. But now I feel like I owe you guys the tutorial of how to do it properly. I'm gonna start with the dates, just the same process of removing the seed. So I'm gonna do that 50 bajillion times. I think I'm just gonna do it just to demonstrate the peanut butter necessity. Although honestly, filling it with the holes is actually not that bad. The other thing I wanted to point out is that it is really important that when you're doing this step, you look out for mold or for date bugs. There's a lot, it happens a lot. And the worst thing would be to serve date bugs. They kind of blend in too. I don't have any examples because lucky me, I didn't get any. I fell in love with the pretzels, so we are going to do these with pretzels. But I didn't like the caramel as much, so no caramel. Same process, I add the pecan and then I add the peanut butter here instead of at the end, and then you just squish it in. Or you put the peanut butter before the pecan. I don't know. We're learning together. I can't remember what I did last Ramadan. And then the pecan, peanut butter, then pecan. So peanut butter, and then the pecan, and then you squish. I think it needs more salt. Clearly, I'm not in the Ramadan spirit because I was not generous enough with the salt. I've got my chocolate. I'm just gonna, this is the chocolate technique, by the way. You gotta just floop. It works out perfectly. So while the chocolate is wet, I will flake the salt, even though it is sticking to my dirty date hands. Okay, sir. You have to squish them into the chocolate to make sure it gets into the holes so that it actually holds it in place and it doesn't fall off. Once they cool, we can taste test. So you can store like the week's dates out, but I would recommend putting them in the fridge because like I said, dates get moldy or bugs very easily. Anyways, I'm off to do the rest of these so that I can ship them to my friends. So my next all-time Ramadan treat is Rice Krispies. We're at the stove because all of the recipe basically happens here. I'm gonna start by putting my pan on medium heat and I'm gonna grab butter. I usually am really generous with the butter because the more butter, the easier it is to deal with the marshmallow. It will prevent it from sticking to the pan, and it just is so much easier to work. This is the one time in a recipe where I just don't skimp out on butter. Usually I cut my butter ratios, but not for this one. It's really important to use a rubber spatula. You want something that won't stick to the marshmallows because they will try to stick to everything. The other important thing is to make sure everything is coated in butter. So the pan, I will take the butter along the edge, I will take it around the pan, like literally try to coat every single thing that will be touched with butter. So while the butter is melting, I'll walk you through the recipe. I use marshmallows. I always opt for the mini ones. They just melt a lot easier. There's less chance of this mixture burning. Ooh. The other thing I do, I use just the normal rice cereal, and then I mix in a fruity cereal. It gives it a little flavor and a little color. It's really festive for Ramadan. Key ingredient for these, I think everything is a key ingredient, but what makes Rice Krispies is adding salt. Don't ask me why, but the salt and sweet, it is so good. Now that the butter is melted, I'm going to add in my marshmallows. I usually add in 3/4 of the bag, and then I'm going to bring down the heat to low. Now with the marshmallows melting, you want to just stir them pretty consistently. They melt pretty quickly and they will burn easily. But I can see that it's kind of sticking to the bottom of the pan. You can see it's leaving like a residue, which makes me think I didn't put enough butter. So I'm just gonna go in real quick and just add in just a little bit more. Now the marshmallows have now all combined together and they've made this little marshmallowy, doughy, fluffy thing. This looks good. I'm just gonna let it melt a little bit more to where it becomes a liquid. That again, it'll just make it a lot easier to deal with. We are now at liquid, so I'm gonna turn off the heat and then I'm gonna add in my cereals. For cereals, I do like a 2/3 of white cereal to 1/3 colorful cereal. The ratios depend on your preferences because if you like a more marshmallowy, gooey Rice Krispie, you're gonna want to do less cereal. I like a balance. For like a chocolate cereal or peanut butter one or whatever other flavors there are, you can totally opt the cereal. And if you don't like the Fruity Pebbles one, you can also skip it. But everything is starting to come together. You just want to keep mixing until every single cereal is coated and you don't see clumps of marshmallow like that. See that everything is coming together, it's sticking together, and there's these little strands and strings. That is just a really good sign that everything's gonna stick. The last step is the salt. I like to be generous, but if your salt is more salty, then I would put a little bit less. Now, I'm just gonna give everything one final stir. Everything is looking good. We're gonna head over to the pan and start to assemble. Time to assemble. I got my tray, got some foil. I don't think this is going to be non-stick enough. So I'm just gonna quickly give it a spray and then I'm just gonna pour the whole mixture in. Ta-da! It's really easy. You just pack it all in. And then I'm also gonna incorporate that other fourth to just add in little specks of marshmallows. So I'm gonna just push everything in. I like to spread out the marshmallows, make sure there's some on every piece, and then just press, press, press. If the mixture is too hot to touch, I would give it a few minutes to cool. The Rice Krispies are all set. They look so, so good and they've cooled down now, so it is time to cut. I've got my knife, I've got my spraying oil. I'm just gonna spray the knife just because it will stick. Okay, I also will rub it with my hands gently. You can use a paper towel, but I try to keep the oil on my fingers in case I need to reapply oil. For this, you could cut them into diamonds, you could do something fancy, but nah. These are going in my stomach, so I don't really care. Ta-da! Look at that. Okay, they're a little warm, so they're falling apart a bit. But look, they are so good. I went for the taste test before even letting you know I'm going for the taste test. But you see that? I'm going in for the taste. These are so, 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 so good. I highly recommend this recipe. I don't think it can be beat. Just kidding. Definitely someone out there is more creative. But with that, I'm off to fast Ramadan and enjoy these post-witr.